Good afternoon, and thanks for tuning in. This is the Market Wrap on BloombergQuint, and I'm Mathew, filling in for Neeraj Shah. Well, it was a bit of a volatile start to the trading week here in India, and you saw the benchmark indices start off very strongly, but then lose ground very quickly. Over the course of the session, however, they regained some ground, and towards the end of the session, ending just off the highs of the day. That 13,000 mark for the Nifty seems a little elusive. We're not so far off as of today's close. We ended with gains of about 0.5% for both the Nifty and the Sensex. The bank Nifty was the underperformer, though, losing about 0.7%. Let's look at the key contributors, though. Banks, like I said, were the key underperformers in today's session, and the defensive sectors like IT and pharma did quite well in today's session. Both of them, remember, underperformed last week. IndusInd Bank at the top of your screen, probably seen as the biggest beneficiary of the RBI working group's recommendation to allow promoters to raise stake in banks over the long period to 26%. Remember that these are just recommendations, however, a long way to go before that actually comes into play. And besides that, among the heavyweights, Neeraj pointed out, I think in trade setup today, he said, watch out for Reliance Industries this week. And clearly among the heavyweights, and the biggest heavyweight, of course, is Reliance Industries, gaining as much as 2.7%, propelling the Nifty higher. You also have, Bajaj Finance building on the gains from last week. Not as much of the gains, and you won't see it on the top of the screen. Other notable mentions, of course, like I mentioned, would be in the tech space and in the pharma space. On the losing end, you can see the biggest loser was HDFC, followed by the big private sector lenders, Axis and ICICI Bank. But remember, the last two especially have gained quite significantly in the recent past. More gainers than losers on the Nifty, as much as 37 gainers and 13 losers. But let's talk about the broader markets, because that's been an interesting story these past few sessions, both towards the second half of last week as well as at the start today. Broader markets have actually outperformed the benchmarks. And you'll see some of the financial names right at the top of the screen. IDFC Limited gaining as much as 20%, their biggest single-day gain since 2009, while IDFC First Bank also ended at the highest level since March this year. Ujjivan Financial Services gained the most since listing in 2016 and ended about 18% higher, while Ujjivan Small Finance Bank also ended 20% higher. Now, you will also see a couple of names that have benefited from a ratings upgrade. In fact, you'll see Motherson Sumi among the gainers today, but among the losers, you see some of the names that have been making the list over the past few sessions. You see Lemon Tree Hotels has been quite weak, SpiceJet has been quite weak, but broadly, you will find that there were more gainers than losers in this session. ICICI Bank among the losers there, 2.5%. Going forward, you're going to have to watch out for Thursday, because of course this is monthly expiry and we could be heading into a bit of a volatile period. Of course, the headline number for the Nifty is going to be watched very closely. We're not too far away from the 13,000 mark, but over the past few sessions, whenever we've reached close to that 13,000 mark, we've always come down. So it'll be interesting to note whether that number can be breached. Of course, we're also watching out for the GDP print, which will come out later in the week. But more or less, that is how we ended the session. More interesting times to come in the next couple of days. So do stay tuned. We'll bring you all the news and updates over the course of the week. Thanks so much for joining in.